Having super speed on this level would just be fun. You can get away with stuff like you're literally invisible, stopping bullies from fighting each other, putting soap under their feet and them not knowing what happened, creating vortexes using your super speed to fix up cars faster, and saving civilians from tidal waves also comes in handy when you're fast like this, but you can see as this video goes along. Yes, DC has their own version of genies. Genies like this considered Wallace West Kid Flash to be the most dangerous of the Titans. There's a lot of beings in DC that's fast. Take this list with a grain of salt, but this can give you an idea he's at least top 10 or something, right? When it comes to being a speedster, right? The odds are, when you think of powerhouses in comics, you probably think of characters like Hulk, Superman, and characters such as that. Beings that have a lot of physical strength to lift heavy stuff up and stuff, type of strength, right? There's other characters like speedster type characters that are technically powerhouses because of how fast they can move. And I'm talking about Speed Force users. These beings are no stranger to the channel. I think some would find a speedster interesting like Wallace West. No, I'm not talking about Wally West. I'm talking about Wallace West. The way he got powers is really strange. Him from another timeline gained the Flash's power and became a speedster, tried to be a hero like him. He died, all that energy went to another him in the past, and he explains it like this. So a future me got the Flash's power and died, and then that power somehow traveled through time and space and found me. That makes like zero sense, he said. Time travel. Yeah, it's kind of wild. A future version of him died to bless his past self with power. Like, what? The Speed Force gives the speedsters superhuman healing, one of the many abilities they have. It'll automatically take care of the wounds. It's stated on occasions like this that he heals quickly. The only bad part about healing is sometimes he heals incorrectly because they don't have time to align the right way. Yeah, his sped up metabolism allows him to heal quick. Can apparently create his own electromagnetic field. Can kind of manifest his outfit from will or focusing the Speed Force or whatever. Getting taught by the legend himself how to steal speed. He does it on occasions like this, stealing the momentum of stuff, of diamonds and bullets. But let's get into how strong he is. It's implied he has hand-to-hand training because Robin, a great fighter in comics, you know how the street tiers or super soldier tiers are always good fighters. He learned some skills from them with his speed. Since he's a speedster type character, his lifting power isn't something they specialize in. But even with stuff like this being kept in mind, it's implied they can carry humans while going at decent speed. Even going as far as carrying beings up vertical buildings and can run wild ravens on his back. Do me a favor and try to lift up somebody using only one arm. It's harder than you think. So it's still implied he has superhuman physicals thanks to raw speed and stuff, but that's not his specialty. He's one of those characters that have to hold back or he would end up punching beings' head off, like him blitzing these League of Assassins here, for example. You can see in this occasion him blitzing an assassin with a punch. Punching out some mutants here. We've seen him blitz and clap some demons up with punches and speed at the same time. Just because you have superpowers doesn't mean you're necessarily on the level of a speedster. Even if you're a rogue gallery member of Flash or something, you can still get blitzed. You can get small implications of his punching power by the way some things get sent flying in the air. Y'all normal guards with guns, y'all get punched and blitzed out. Same with you thugs, y'all get murked. And you might as well not be a pirate because y'all guns ain't gonna work. He just blitz y'all too. I love when they treat characters that should be treated like fodder and don't make them struggle for no reason. I love how these beings just get blitzed by them. Even chopping their weapons in half by using boomerangs, razor blades and stuff, or boomerangs to cut them up. Flash characters can use their super speed to move their hands in a circle of motion to make like mini tornadoes or fans. Or one can say vortexes by spinning their hands fast enough. Wallace West can do this type of stuff as well. You see him knocking this guy out with a vortex attack. He used it here to cover up beings that are pretty big with snow, using the vortex from his hand, spinning it around fast enough. One can say he can create long range attacks by punching the air fast enough, one can say, or one can say just straight up electrokinesis too. Everybody knows in real life there's a difference between straight line running travel speed and one direction type speed compared to fighting speed, or one people in fiction call it combat speed. Since Flash characters are speedster type characters, they incorporate both when they're fighting, so their combat speed and their travel speed go hand in hand with one another. I shouldn't have to show you evidence of this when it comes to Speed Force users. You should have just believed me, but it's literally stated. But when other people have to think long and hard about stuff, since he's a fast thinker, he can think in a very short amount of time, even though to him, he probably thought about it to himself for about an hour. Like, it's occasions like this, they can use their speed to produce destructive capacity by making a tornado by running in a circle, along with his cousin, breaking apart the road while they're running, making a cyclone. And also punch while they're moving at these speeds that add more mass to their punches. And he will still punch you out even if you try to outnumber him. It's quality, not quantity. Sending a whole bunch of beings at him in numbers don't matter if they're not strong enough. I mean, just because a character doesn't have super soldier serum doesn't mean they're not super soldier centric. You know what I mean? Like, even characters within this hierarchy, somewhere in that range, even admit that speedsters like Kid Flash and people with powers are above them, including the magical beings. So, I mean, it makes sense for speedsters to be above beings in super soldier-esque range, right? A being on the channel known as Harley Quinn has some crazy feats for her to be a human, but it's also shown that Kid Flash is too fast for beings like this. He could blitz her, snatching his kid out of her hands before she can do anything, to show the gap. Don't you hate stupid moments like this when they act like super soldier tiers can actually mess up Flash beings, but then you got moments that pretty much contradict this? Like casually dodging hits from beings within that same tier. Like Harley Quinn, like she literally can't land no hit on him. It's occasions like this that pretty much prove that he can do a punch volley on you at super speed like crazy. I mean, we got super soldiers like Deathstroke, right, who are pretty strong in their own right, but compared to Speed Force users, unless he has special gear like the Icon suit that's made to take hits from powerhouses, it's implications that he can actually murder if he doesn't watch it, especially when Deathstroke doesn't have his Icon suit on no more, when he's not invulnerable no more. They even go as far as saying you will kill him if he doesn't watch his morals. He even stated here, you're lucky Flashes don't kill, showing that they have to hold back. But this is an occasion when he actually has a suit that's made to fight powerhouses and absorb punches from them. He was able to charge it up because the Icon suit stores kinetic energy. With his volley of punches, he was able to charge it up to 400%. Like, I know this is a vague comparison, plus we don't know how hard Superman was punching because we know Superman likes to hold back, but just look at this, for example. They said the Icon suit was at 90%. Superman does another punch and it jumps to 382%. And when you look at Wallace punch him, you see it jump up to 400%, you know, just for reference. I mean, just look at what he does when he uses his speed and momentum with one each other. Look how hard he can throw beings through a building. He can use his speed to get two beings off of him if they try to hold him back. And look how he pushes Deathstroke, kind of overpowering him here, put him against the tree. Blitz style. Constructs that other Flashes like Wally and Barry are fighting, the top tier Flashes, he can shatter their constructs with his punches too. Yeah, but I don't want to bore you by showing him punching fodder all day. It's obvious he can use his speed and everything together to put out fires. He's gotten in interactions with Lobo type characters, some of the strongest beings, using a battering to stab him in the eye on this occasion, Blitz style. He's had his fair share of run-ins with top tier speedsters like Godspeed during his time. Of course, speedsters got to get in interactions with other beings that can move fast like them, right? It only makes sense. If you don't want to say he's up there with Barry and Wally West, that's okay. But he has to be at least a medium tier powerhouse at least, right? I mean, he is a Speed Force user, right? But he's strong enough to add enough speed so Kryptonian S-type beings can knock themselves out. That gives you some idea of how much speed he can add to his punching power if he can add this other being's speed to make them punch that hard. They even go as far as saying Kid Flash's potential is limitless. In newer continuities, Kryptonians have this move called the solar flare where they release their solar energy outwardly along with others. Speedsters and everybody helping out, they help contain this energy this being known as John was releasing. Being a Speed Force user in DC is a big deal. His speed makes him a powerhouse because beings that can sprint and then charge with all their body weight at you and use their solid mass to hit you while they're moving at this speed produces a lot of raw force. He comes in handy way better than the ambulance because if somebody's in trouble, he can just run and get the person and take them. He's one of those beings that's so fast he can casually run on water. It's straight up confirmed that he's faster than an arrow. This shouldn't be really a shock, but it's stated he can run faster than the speed of light. You're probably thinking, oh, it's just a statement. Well, considering he's a Speed Force user, and if you look at the history of Speed Force users, when it comes to a speedster's reputation about being faster than the speed of light, it's been times even stated he can move in a fraction of a second so infinitesimal no word exists to describe it. Approaching trans-time velocity type of stuff, even in past stuff, old stuff, new stuff, it doesn't matter which era. Even slower Speed Force users like Jay Garrick are faster than the speed of light. Superman's faster than the speed of light. Speedsters can outspeed Superman. At this point, light speed in DC Comics is slow when it comes to when you're talking about a powerhouse tier. So for those people saying, oh, statements can't be taken seriously, I think when a speedster says a statement like this, considering how slow the speed of light is compared to the stuff they do, I think statements like this can actually be taken as viable. I mean, you got occasions like this when he's channeled with a lot of speed force, he's vibrating at such a speed. I'm talking about a state of vibrational frequency dissonance. They literally moving so fast you exist in multiple planes of reality at once. So I know it's probably a pun and he's just reminiscing or just chilling or whatever, but it's definitely something you should be taking seriously. They got in this occasion with these shadows, right? To Speed Force standards, they're considered fast. And it's stated that the speed of darkness is as technically as fast as the speed of light. These shadows are ridiculously fast. Even Wallace says they keep up no matter how fast he runs. I honestly think when DC characters say light, it's like a pun. There's a good chance this stuff they're talking about is probably even way faster than light for it to even be able to keep up with speedsters or even top tier speedsters. Yeah, Deathstroke is pretty good with prep. He had like suits that helped him be able to steal speed from other speedsters for a little bit. When he had took their speed, he can apparently run at near light speed. Matter of fact, we've seen Wallace actually do some time travel stuff. Yep, time manipulation type stuff. Okay, check this out. Make this make sense. They were in no win and they had to move through the time stream again to get back to where they needed to go. And guess what Wallace did? Yeah, speed. Feats like this, time travel manipulation, shall prove that he's a solid Flash tier member. And there's no way you can have your doubts about him being at least light speed. This guy literally was entering the Speed Force. You have to be a bare minimum, have the ability to run faster than the speed of light, like Wally West would know, and Wallace West can enter the Speed Force. It's just too much evidence of it. So how are you supposed to defend against somebody that can punch you at this kind of speed? I would even go as far as saying being able to punch it at light speed and having some mass on you would automatically make you a planet buster at the bare minimum. Even one could say a star buster if you felt like it. So when it comes to flashy showings of speedsters being able to level planets and hit with the force of stars and stuff, I would definitely say he should be in that ballpark as well, even if we haven't necessarily seen him bust a planet or nothing like that, or have narration the same. There's heavy implications he could duplicate some of the same stuff. And considering they put him on the list, at least in the top 10, considering everybody on this list is faster than the speed of light, it's obvious he can definitely hit you at the speed of light a lot better. He's so much faster when it comes to fighting speed and just speed in general. Everything literally slows down. Why is everybody stopped? This isn't them, it's the power, it's me. I'm faster than anyone can even see. Matter of fact, he's so fast, he's completely invisible. It's a difference between being a blur or something, but to be completely invisible is insane when you're this big. When you're this fast, nothing seems far away. I mean, running around the entire city seems like a short little walk to him. We got another occasion of crazy speed. Everybody is right here and nobody sees him. He's completely invisible, even though he's zipping around the whole area. Saving kids from kidnappers, being completely invisible. All of this is happening at absurd speed. He said, hey, not you, too, brings him to the police station that fast. To make matters worse, he searched a lot of empty warehouses to find him. I guess he just checked them all. Can you imagine working at a job and being like a delivery person having this guy's power? Another occasion of traveling in a place without being seen. Even when Wally was a noob and he couldn't run through walls yet, he used the lightning strikes as a distraction to move while the lightning strikes so they can get in that way past him. He's fast enough to play ping pong with himself. Y'all got a lot of guns and he wants y'all to stop. He could just take all y'all guns away. He'll use his speed to just come up in here and evacuate the entire bank real quick. He can counter a tidal wave with his speed. Even when stuff is mid-air, you think, oh, what he gonna do? He can't just fly. He can still kind of do helpful stuff even while mid-air. One can say you could do some form of gliding with this kind of speed, make a vortex to slow your descent when you're carrying people, extra weight. Speedsters, when it comes to repairing things, help speed up the process a lot faster. Time itself can be frustrating for a speedster. Let's be grateful that time isn't always slowed down for these speedsters. Do you know how frustrating that would be? Because one can say they have a form of time manipulation because when they're moving this fast, their reflexes speed up to where everything's pretty much going in slow motion. Milliseconds is actually considered a lifetime for a speedster because speedsters can move in milliseconds, right? If a millisecond is a lifetime for a speedster, what do you think 5 seconds feels like for a speedster that's going in super speed mode and everything's slowed down? Less than a second feels like an hour. Right? When we're talking about speed, it's pretty obvious that his fighting speed allows him to be able to react to stuff like even faster enough to react to lightning. I wouldn't even try to punch somebody like this. Heck, even if I'm this close, I wouldn't even feel safe shooting bullets at somebody like this. We can actually see him on this occasion catching bullets to save being Robin's life. And a few hours feels like days. Along with his punching power and speed, along with everything else, he eventually learns how to actually vibrate to go through walls. He eventually vibrates so good to where he can actually go invisible via vibration. One can even say that this vibration, along with his raw speed and travel speed, can increase his punching power via vibration as well. Because one could say he has like a form of haxy type of stuff. Like I'm talking about you can actually vibrate, and instead of becoming intangible, you can disrupt their molecular bond and blow stuff up. Imagine getting punched by somebody that can vibrate their hands this fast. Considering that Godspeed gives Barry a run for the money, one of the top tier flashes. Stated right here, run for the money. Even if you want to say he's not equal to Godspeed, he's fast enough to at least land hits on him. This by default should make Wallace West massively faster than the speed of light, which is nothing new for Flash members. Even if there are some occasions where they got to team up on him, it should show that he's somewhere in that ballpark, even just young. Okay, you remember this DC ranking that you can take as Bible or with a grain of salt. They have him as a kid here, but let's talk about his fullest potential. There's implications that his fullest potential, that he can jump all the way up here with the big dogs up here. I mean, he could be top 3 Speed Force users when you consider the future or his possible future or potential, actually helping Barry Allen, one of the top 2 speedsters, saving him from a future version of himself. This future version of him said he's been training for years to prevent him from destroying anything else. You know he's gotten powerful when he's dodging all the attacks from a Barry Allen tier level being, because that's our future version of Barry Allen, pretty much saving the day. A good way to understand his true potential is looking at Barry and Wally. Don't forget what Barry and Wally has done. If Wallace is somewhere in their neighborhood, one could theorize he could do similar stuff if he really put his mind to it. Like in this particular situation, their energy they were generating, playing havoc with the very fabric of the multiverse. This isn't necessarily Wallace, this is Wally West and Barry, not Wallace. I know Wallace and Wally sound similar, but these two together apparently, quote unquote, broke the Speed Force. The Speed Force is a higher dimensional construct, guys. Stated that they broke the force barrier. Stuff like this is kind of more impressive than messing up an entire universe, because the Speed Force itself is around the whole multiverse. It's bigger than multiple universes. Like, just look at the DC multiverse map. Like, all these universes in here, right? There's the Speed Force barrier that goes around all these universes. Like, that's how big the Speed Force barrier is. It gives all the species their speed. They're messing up something that's higher dimensional, basically, a higher plane, in a higher plane. A thing that pretty much has beyond infinite energy. Like I've mentioned a million times, speed is weight. So Wallace, we already know he can blow up multiple planets, probably the whole solar system with the weight of his punches. His swings would feel like the force equivalent to mess up a whole solar system, stuff like that. But it doesn't end there based on the Speed Force barrier thing. Same ballpark with these higher tier flashes like Barry Wally. This is why people consider Speed Force users gods. They can already change the fate of universes by going in time and changing history. Basically, one could say you're destroying the universe via hacks, or just completely destroying the universe with the raw energy they can produce to mess up the entire Speed Force barrier. One could theorize, based on him being a top tier in the future, possible future, Wallace West could do similar stuff to this. The more speed he builds up, the more mass he can achieve. One could theorize infinite mass, because going light speed, you would technically, via real science, you would have infinite mass. There's a lot of different ways you can look at it, but what do you guys think? Regardless, I think his punches by default should be ridiculous. Up there with the top tiers like Superman and them. Even if you don't want to agree he's equal to Superman, if Superman's 100, he should be like, 85, 90, you know what I mean? Still a powerhouse in DC. He's a Speed Force user. Nothing new. But yeah, you got to respect pretty much any version of the Flash. They're all faster than the speed of light by a massive degree. He's probably faster than Green Lanterns, especially his future self, but that's none of my business. But before I get going, thanks for the donations, everybody. Helps out a lot. Respect Wallace West. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.